call the meeting to order, the regular village council meeting. We'll now stand for the pledge of allegiance to the flag, please. As soon as I can get up.
Wait for it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to have a roll call by the clerk, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Wallach.
Here.
Baylor.
Here.
Slutz.
Here.
Elke.
Here.
Next is approval of the agenda. What's the council's wishes, please?
Wait. We got to pull something.
Yeah, I'd like to pull item 3, Charlie, under new business.
Mr. President, also move the agenda be accepted as amended.
Second.
Second by Conan. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the floor is open up to citizen comments. Kevin, would you like to address the council at this time?
Yes, sir, I would. Good evening, President Wallach, members of council. My name is Kevin Grand. I'm a Armada resident. I know I'm probably echo some of the comments tonight, but I just want to pass along compliments to all the people who volunteered and helped out with the sesquicentennial this weekend. Weather notwithstanding, I thought it was a pretty successful event. There was a lot of children running up and down Main Street. They were showing parents their projects in the different storefront windows. You had people who were commenting on the items they picked up on the street fair, and a lot of people were commenting on a lot of the performances and presentations around town. So I thought that fairly fell under the asset category here in Armada, and I just want to pass along kudos to those who helped out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Everybody else is on the agenda.
Okay. The next is the presentation. So we have Mary Savali and mechanical art design presentation.
Say it. Say it.
Sesquicentennial.
Substitutes.
Don't think about it, just say it. Yeah.
Sesquicentennial.
Well, I had to look at you first. Mary.
Hi.
Welcome.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. This was not what I expected at all when we approached Ross last week. So I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I am an engine expert in the oil and gas industry. And recently, I've been dabbling in art. I've been teaching some classes out. I travel around the country and teach some classes, and I realized that a lot of the things that I found on the internet really weren't applicable to what I wanted to teach, and so I started drawing my own art. And we developed a STEM program here in Armada that kicks off tomorrow night for children from 1st through 7th grade, and we partnered up with the Armada in Michigan down the street. And in the process of getting ready for the celebration this weekend, we started messing around with the CNC machine that we got a hold of, and we made up some things. And when we got done with this, I designed it and my husband put it together and painted it, and we decided we just couldn't put it in the store. And so we approached Justin at the store and asked if there was any way that we could donate it to the town, just on behalf of the store and ourselves. And we approached Ross last week and he invited us here. So we wanted to present it to you guys and just say thank you so much for welcoming us in. We have family here. I have 5 nieces and nephews here in town, so it was definitely the town we wanted to target for our program. So thank you.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Armada, anytime. And if you want to move here, there's a lot of nice places for sale.
We welcome you. That's awesome.
Now you guys, it's one thing, we've been coming up for Halloween for years because we have family here. And the one thing we've noticed is it's a small town, but a huge heart, man. You guys got families that put a lot into this town, and so when we were looking for a place to partner up with, it just made sense. So this
awesome.
it's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Stop back and visit us again.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very cool. Smells good.
Okay, next we have Mr. Fred Miller, our Macomb County clerk and Register of Deeds also.
Yes, sir.
So,
Thanks for having me. I also have some presentations for you all for the momentous occasion. But first, just want to say thanks for having me. Thanks for making time on the agenda. I adhere to the 5 B's of public speaking. Be brief, brother, be brief. And so I pledge to stick to the 5 B's. But wanted just to kind of just say hello and introduce myself. I've been in the office 11 months now, and it's been a terrific turnaround to see the office turn around from headline grabbing for all the wrong reasons to now really being on position to excel and be back to the award-winning operation that it once was. While I'm happy to take credit for it, I really cannot. It's really the 90 people when we're at full staff, dedicated public servants that went through hell and back, endured things on the job that people should not have to endure, but really were able to maintain professionalism and dedicated public service to the people of this county. And we all of us in Macomb County really owe them a debt of gratitude. It's great to work with them every day. But we're 4 divisions at the Clerk Register of Deeds, which is of course buying and selling real property, homes and businesses, record that ownership with us at the Register of Deeds. We're the elections administrator, so filings and campaign finance, whatnot. We work closely with our local partners in administering elections. We also are the clerk for the court, the 16th Circuit Court in Mount Clemens. We run the jury pool, the jury room. We have about 15,000 residents that come through there every year. And while I can't get you out of jury duty, that's the number one question I get to know the guy called Jim Biernat. He's the chief judge. He's the only one that can excuse you from jury duty. But if you are called for the inconvenient service of jury duty, we hope to welcome you down, and please let me know if any of you all get called. And then, of course, we have our vital records, so birth certificates, CPLs, death certificates, marriage licenses, notary applications, and all that. So we touch about 102,000 people every year, not including the jury room, but well, that's through the court filings and the vital records and Register of Deeds. So the public is in and out of our office in Mount Clemens, but we don't want proximity to the county seat to be a barrier for receiving good service. So we've reinstated a program that former Clerk Sabaugh had instituted, and I think we've taken it to the next level, and that's our Clerk Mobile Office. And so we are about to host our 12th mobile office in Romeo on October 16th, which is this Wednesday. And we're going to be out there at the court. Magistrate Andry and Judge LeDuc have been great partners. I think it was my first week in office, Judge LeDuc called me up and said, we got to have you out here to do the mobile office again, and kind of jump-started our program. But we've been everywhere from St. Clair Shores, Warren, we've been in Richmond, New Haven. This will be our second trip to Romeo. We're going to be in Shelby Township, as you can see. And then, and we were in Richmond, like I said. So if that's something that would be of service to people, let them know. We do process a lot of CPLs, because typically when we send out the renewal notices, we put a little insert in about the mobile office. We get a lot of CPLs, DBAs, doing business as, the business registrations, but everything from marriage licenses, birth certificates, deeds, all that kind of stuff. And anything that you can do at Mount Clemens, you can do at our mobile office. So if that's of any interest to people, let them know. But speaking of our Register of Deeds office, in honor of the 150th, we kind of went through some of our records. We have 8 million images of deeds dating back to the early 1800s in our system. And it's on a searchable database called U.S. Land Records. We're in a bit of transition in that office. We came in to a partner that the county had been with for 15 years. Hadn't been out to bid in at least that long, so we put it out for bid. We have a new partner we're going to be working with, and we're transitioning all that data from the old partner for the current vendor to our new vendor. I won't bore you with the details, but you know, I had at the beginning of this press, I had a lot of hair in my head, and in a few short months, it's all falling out. But by next year, we're gonna have a really top of the line record real estate record search service once again.
So it won't be US land records anymore?
Exactly. Yep. We won't have U.S. land records. So
Okay.
we had our super index and U.S. land records, which had the same data but were two different interfaces. Super index was powered by Google, and long story short, they were doing a large change within their software, moving from a Google search to a Google Cloud, if that means anything to anybody. But to keep the super index, we would have to pay like a $400,000 premium. Just didn't make sense for us to do that. So we retired the super index. We're relying solely on U.S. land records, which admittedly is not as user-friendly as the super index.
Yeah.
But once you get to know it, you know, you can get through. We're the only county in the area that offers a free search, so you can search for a list of all the documents associated with a piece of property. You have to pay to download them.
To view it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
to view it.
I just did
into-
it. Yeah, for my dad.
Now, see, clicks
Yeah.
no, clicks
Yep.
no.
Yep.
But coming from that system, I wanted to give this stuff to you. So that we're working on that, as well as our remonumentation project, which is a state-run program for the surveyors going through and remarking all the corners in the county throughout the state. The corners, of course, are the foundations for our legal descriptions of property. It really defines what real property is. And so we are bringing all that data, which has never been online before, we're gonna bring that into an online portal, so primarily for surveyors to use, but anybody can view it. And you can go back from a parcel and go all the way back in time and link up all the documents. So this is one of the documents I wanna give to you in honor of the 150th. This is a survey from 1858. It's a copy of the original that's in our offices, and this has the original, oh wait, this isn't Armada, it's Burke Corner, right?
Yeah.
Burke
Yeah,
Corner.
first corners, yeah.
So this is actually the downtown part here. I'll pass this around, but I want to leave it to you guys for your records. As well as, this is from, another thing we found from a large atlas that we have, 1916 atlas. This is moved on from Burke Corners, now we're Armada, right?
Yep.
And this is an oversized atlas, shrunken down. You share a page with Roseville here, but this is the 1916 atlas for Armada. That's for you guys too.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then a couple of records here that we were able to pull out. This is actually a part of U.S. land records. If you look up, we tried to find a downtown plat right here in the village. So we found this one from January 8th, 1864. And this is a digitized copy of the actual deed for a plat right downtown. So I'm going to give that to you. This is all available online for anybody who wanted to search it out. And then this handsome man is David Holmes, was also part of our index, the first male child born in Armada.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's from our
That's awesome.
thing. So I'll pass this on to you,
Oh,
you guys, for your
That's
records.
awesome.
And if you don't remember anything else I say, please remember this, and at your service. It's a big county, and but I recognize the rich part of our county and our civic life that the North End brings to it, and through whether it be the mobile office or anything else that I can do. You guys deserve as great service as anybody else in the county, and I hope that you call on me and let me know how I can better serve from here. So, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Thank you for
Happy to
coming.
answer any
Thank you,
questions.
Miller. Good. Appreciate you coming.
I'm just gonna hang on to him for a while.
We'll look at them after.
We'll always be proud to hear from your department.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's cool.
Do you want to pass them, or can you look at them and do the meeting at the same time?
Yeah.
Who's
Just check.
walking and chewing gum?
They're curious anyhow, so. All right,
That's
so
awesome.
next is the administrative reports. Does council have any,
I've got one.
Mr. Clark, please?
Planning had a meeting last Monday. We hadn't had any in a few months. And it was Advantage, the nursing home for a property split. They were requested to do some updates on a drawing, and they didn't have the large drawings back in time for us to really look at. So that's going to have to get postponed until the next meeting. That's all I've got on that.
Okay, anyone else?
Mr. President, I've got
Yes, Mr.
my
Bell.
usual couple. So very quick sesquicentennial report, see how easy that was? So we are done. I thought I'm still looking at all of the different data and so on this, but I think we did pretty well. We ended in the black, which is probably the most important thing. Very healthy, actually. And so we'll get all of our bills paid, and we should have sufficient monies to put all the trinkets we get or have received to date, and the ones we're going to get, in nice frames and so on, and get them out on our wall. So, let's see. Again, mostly positive reports from everybody. If you looked at the downtown area, it looked a little spotty because it got cold on Saturday and some people bailed out.
And windy.
Windy. But by all accounts that I've heard, people said they did very well, and so I'm encouraged by that. And we did recognize all of our representatives yesterday. Didn't quite go as planned because everybody had largely left by the time that they came out, but we got them in the building and everybody said their piece, so thought it went well. Water department, we're in the final draft for the arsenic containment report, and the water reliability study is also in final draft, and should be ready to go for the next meeting. Any comments, any thoughts? Okay.
Any questions, no further discussions or questions for Mr. Belkey? All right, at this time, being administrative, being the president, I encountered, yesterday, some very good work from our trustee Russ Belkey as our coordinator for the
Sesquicentennial.
150th birthday anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah.
And then also I'd like to recognize Mr. Kevin Grant. He helped tremendously to Mr. Belkey. I saw them in action. And so,
As the barricades were getting blown over from the wind.
yeah, there was a lot of things that they handled I saw shortly. So the thing is, I'd like to commend them gentlemen and welcome to the village of Armada, so many years that you've been here as well. So again, thank you gentlemen, and appreciate all that you did
Thank you,
for
Mr.
our
President.
village.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Next is the consent agenda. Approval of the regular council meeting minutes, payment of bills, special event permit application for the Armada Ambets, the four corner fundraiser. What is the council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Support. Has been moved and supported by Shaw. Any further questions and discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Old business, that would be sewer plant update. Mr. Clark, your department, please.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. We had the crew come up from Florida to work on the grit screen. We had problems with the shear pins on it. They made adjustments and they were gone, and about a day and a half later, the shear pins popped again. So we've let them be aware of it. They're working on a fix, and we will figure things out.
Are they back up?
Not yet.
Okay.
They're trying to look on their end to see what it could be before they come up here.
What's the shear pin then?
Well, if there's any binding whatsoever on this screen where it's removing the rags and stuff, you want, if something gets bound up, the shear pin will snap so we don't cause any more damage to the unit itself. And
Basically a safety.
yeah, it is a safety device. And we don't want to start putting stronger shear pins in because you're just asking for trouble.
Right.
So it's under warranty. Like I say, they came out, they adjusted it, it was off a little bit with rubbing on one side from what they could see. They brought it back to center, adjusted it, and like I say, a day and a half later, we were snapping shear pins. So like I say, we've made them aware of it. They're looking at fixes down there before they come up again so they're not wasting time.
So it might be a good time to announce what should not be flush again. We have it
Well-
on the website,
Well, I'll say it now, I mean, people can buy these
flushable
wipes and
wipes.
things that say they're flushable. Yes, they're able to flush down the toilet, but no, they do not break down on the way down to the plant like toilet paper does. They end up getting bound up in pumps, grit screens, and what it does, it ends up costing you and me money because we have to spend the time and effort to pull things apart to fix it if it hasn't broken something. So it's a problem in the sewer lines, Ed's had the snake lines out that we shouldn't have to snake out. So again, please do not flush these flushables down the toilet. And the only other thing I have is I attended a meeting September 26th. It was a mandatory pre-bid meeting down at the sewer plant for the vendors that are going to be doing the work down there. There was a good, at least a dozen or more vendors that were there. Mike Faith ran the meeting, discussed the bidding process, how things are supposed to be done, and then took them on a tour of the plant. They walked the plant to see the various items that were there. And a couple of vendors have since come back in the last week or so asking to go on the property again to take one more look at things, and the guys running the plant down there accommodated them to bring them around. So things are in the works, and hopefully we'll break ground with construction. So.
No, Mike with the DEQ?
No,
He's
Mike
with
is with Rowe.
Okay.
And along with Mike Faith, Karen Nichols from the DEQ, or Eagle, and Lena Steiner was also there. And like I said, about 12 to 15 vendors were there, so it was a good turnout. So, anything else?
Any other questions, Mr. Clerk? If not, next would be West Main Street update. Mr. Ballard, your department.
Well, we had, Simon Street has been torn out and repaved. They put a notch in the curb to drain the water that was up on Simon Street. And the private road sign has been repaired.
Okay.
I will be contacting Gus to see when they're gonna be out again, and I should have something for next week.
That'd be good, because our weather is getting
Yeah, it's
closer
getting
to
worse.
being terribly bad.
Mhm.
So, I thought they was gonna do it before this.
So did I.
So, yeah, no, thanks, Mr. Ballard. New business, next is the amended tax form L4029 for 2019 tax roll. This is the treasurer's department. Do you have any?
Yeah, the L4029 is something that I file with the county every year on our tax roll. This year, as one other year, I forgot to round the last penny down. So it caused a .0001 over levy. And I pulled a few tax bills with the low end of the tax roll and randomly something at the other end of the higher end of the tax roll. And it's making about 1/8 of a cent to $1.15 was the highest one I saw that we over collected. So I will be sending the letter to the county explaining how we will, our attempt to correct it will be on next year's tax roll. It's just a process that we need to do to correct it.
Okay, very good.
It's in front of you so that the clerk and the president can sign the amended form.
Very good, thank you. Police department request.
No.
No, we got a minute.
Oh, okay.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Lon.
I resolve to approve the amended L4029 as signed by the clerk and president acknowledging the 0.0001 over levy with corrective reduction action of the 2020 tax roll.
Support.
Okay, by Ross.
Does that have to be a roll call, Joe?
Might as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any further discussion? If not, roll call.
Ballard?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Sledds?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Cronin?
Yes.
Wallach?
Yes, motion carried. Excuse me. Next is the police department request to dispose of village property. Chris, slide your department, please.
One discussion, or do you want to go with the motion? All right, so, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the sale of old patrol vehicle parts that are out of date and no longer usable through advertisement and bid solicitation on an online auction site. Authorize the police chief to accept the highest qualified bid received.
Supported. Supported by
Can you give it into?
Rob?
excuse me a second. It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Up and coming agenda items, Council Clavin.
Mr. President, just hoping to have a date and time for the regular ZBA meeting that was supposed to happen in October. It's probably going to happen in November. And of course, we've got a new member on the ZBA now, Dennis. And so at the next meeting, I'll address that issue.
Very good. Anything else? If not, the floor is open up to citizen comments again. Nobody wants to address the council? Okay. All right, very good. Council comments. Community events, any coming up?
Sesquicentennial.
I got you.
I hadn't thought about it. Sesquicentennial is done, so we're not going to bring that up anymore.
Very good, Ross, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So, we're gonna have a closed session tonight, and there may or may not be a motion after the closed session. So we have to enter into a closed session by motion. I entertain that at 7:30?
7:20.
Need a roll call.
You need it, yeah. I know.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so at what time?
7:29.
So enter into closed session at 7:29
29.
after a 5-minute recess?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Okay, so Mike Coleman?
yeah, and Valley.
Right,
Okay, ready?
Who's
Conan.
I supported it.
Oh, Shaw?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Boy, you sound like Lyle. Okay, Conan,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes,
Ballard,
Yes.
Pelkey,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you.
The camera will be turned off during the closed session.
Right, the camera will be closed off in closed session, and unless we come back for a motion, it'll be turned back on then possible.
Yep.
Thank you. Motion for adjournment.
Yeah.
Mr. Coleman.
Move that we adjourn.
At what time?
7:58.
Short district.
Support.
Been supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.